Hey, slashers and scream queens, and welcome to the Horror Daddies Podcast.
A podcast where we talk about horror movies.
And the daddies in them.
And today, Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there.
And to the ones that are just furry daddies.
And the furry daddies. And by furry, we mean the ones with pets, not the bears and the cubs and stuff. But you too.
You too. Happy Father's Day, Daddy.
Happy Father's Days.
But Carlos, oh wait, I'm your film daddy, John.
And I'm your horror daddy, Carlos.
And what did we watch today?
Today we watched The Stepfather from 1987, directed by Joseph Rubin and written by Carolyn Lefcourt, Brian Garfield, and Donald E. Westlake.
Okay.
Who were also involved, well, not really, but with the remake and the sequels, but it's because they're character based.
Oh, I see. It's like they use their characters. I see. So, do you have any? You never see. This is your first watch, right? For this one.
Second, because we watched
it today.
A couple times before the episode, but second time I knew the remake. I didn't know there was an original. Hello, of course. The podcast is all based on this.
Part of the lore.
And this one was actually really good. I was actually very surprised with it. Like, I thought it was gonna be really shitty, but no, I was actually very surprised with it.
I was like, the music, the tone of the movie, and the whole time you're like, ooh, I don't like this motherfucker. Like, but how methodical he is, and oh, it's so good. I love it.
And he's really interesting because there's something up with him, but we don't really get much backstory on him. So he's like a mystery, and it's really nice. I know there's a sequel with him in it. I'm pretty sure they go deep into his lore, which probably ruins everything. But yeah. This one's actually really good. It's also kind of memeable.
Oh, yeah. There's so many fucking moments that I'm like, oh my God.
And I felt like this whole movie could have been turned into a porn parody and it would still make sense. Because like every scene I was just like, oh, stepfather.
It's a little stepfather meme. But there's like weirdly sexual tension with everyone in this movie.
Yeah, everyone, even the men.
Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I guess, do we just jump right into it?
Well, characters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's your job, baby.
Yeah, that's true. That's my job.
But anyways, I didn't find a budget on this movie, but it grossed $2.5 million.
Okay.
But I would say budget, one town, neighborhood, nothing happened. Nothing major, like no crazy. Gore. Like not really gore. I would say maybe like $1 million.
Yeah, maybe.
Tops.
But the crew for this movie, the cast, is Terry L. Quinn playing Jerry Blake, our main character.
Low-key daddy, though. I'm not going to lie.
He kind of jacked, too. Yeah. I was like, okay.
And we see Dong.
Oh, yeah,
in the beginning, I was like, okay.
For 1987.
My new favorite movie, The Stepfather. Oh.
And then, oh, shit, my microphone's falling. Bro, what? You stand still, motherfucker. There we go.
Horror Daddy.
Technical difficulties. We have Jill Schoeling. I'm assuming Schoeling as Stephanie Main. We have Shelley Hack as Susan. I don't know if she kept the husband's last name. Charles Lanier as Dante Bondurant. And then we have Stephen Shellen as Jim how do you say that? He's Ogilville? The Jim. Ogliv.
He says it in the movie, but it was like quick.
It was really fast. But that's
daddy.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
He should have been the stepfather, but I'll stick with Jerry too.
But that's pretty much our main crew. There's just a lot of side characters in this movie, but that's pretty much it for everyone.
So apparently the screenwriter Donald, he based this on his real life stepdaughter, who he was having trouble, getting along with.
He killed her.
Maybe.
This man was like, I'm about to murder his family. Let me write it down.
That this concept came from him having trouble with this. It's kind of like when songwriters write
like
and their
heartbreaks,
yes, and stuff, and he just made it into a horror movie, which was really interesting. Because I remember when the remake came out, my mom one time was like, "Oh, y'all better behave. Y'all seen The Stepfather?" Because we had a dad at the time, but like. It was all jokes. My stepdad, my stepdad was great. I loved him, but like it was kind of now that I think it's kind of funny. Like he's ain't gonna do nothing. It's like she also did that with the movie. Oh my God, what was it? With Ice Cube. Are We There Yet?
Oh, Are We There Yet?
When she first met him, and she's like, "Don't be mean to him like that." Movie, and I was like, "We're not."
Okay, Are We There Yet or Are We Done Yet?
Are We There? Are We Done was such a fucking waste of a sequel. But anyways, yeah. So he wrote that on this, and then this movie's also supposedly loosely based on the story of John List, the New Jersey man who killed his family in 1971 and was on the run until 1989 when his profile on the television show America's Most Wanted, America Fights Back, 1988, resulted in his capture. The episode is John Emil List, John Riccardi. I believe, if this is the right story, that this man ended up moving to Utah and got a new family under a new identity, and then that happened, and he was found because of the TV thing.
Oh shit! I mean, it is super interesting. Like, I mean, I love like watching Dexter. Like, it's my favorite show. Like, just the interesting how there's like a weird take with this serial killer. Like, it's like even though it's not a lucrative, like this has an end because like he tries to change his identity, motherfucker. There's only so many ways you can look,
right?
But it is super interesting how like you can't read him very well. Like, what's wrong with him? Like, you really can't tell, and it's like so
the most
cool.
we can maybe come up with is that he might have a personality disorder.
Which,
because he kind of talks to himself and saying we're not gonna do this again or whatever.
Yeah, and of course it's like a trope. Like, that's like a thing in the 80s where it's like, oh, they're just crazy, and because there's a part where he talks to himself, like he's pointing at something but talking to himself, and it is weird. But it's like, obviously this was at a point where this was seen as a crazy person. Obviously there's people that suffer from that. But
and then one thing that I didn't catch while watching, when later in the movie he's like showing a house to a family because he's a realtor, and he calls the little girl Jill on accident when it's supposed to be Stephanie, because it's kind of it's her real name in real life.
Oh, that's
which is kind of like a little Easter egg.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, but it's also like interesting because he mixes up all the time.
Yep.
That's cool.
And then one thing is that so the first screenplay of this movie was supposed to have flashbacks of his childhood.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of explained what happened to him. So here comes Carlos's theory scripts.
Shit.
So I came up with 4 scripts that this movie can actually work around, and if we want to make them for remakes. And also you can't steal these because it's being recorded as of today, Father's Day 2023. So my first script for this movie is a prequel where you're thinking you're watching a remake of this movie, but it's not a remake. It's a prequel, and you don't find out till the end that the little boy that survives in that prequel is actually this guy who ends up being a psycho later on in life. Because he had a psychotic stepfather.
Okay, I can see that.
But the whole twist is that it's not a remake. It's a prequel.
Yeah.
And it gets advertised as a remake.
Oh, he takes on his father's name, Jerry Blake, and it's like, no, this motherfucker is actually that's a good one. Right. I like that.
Yep. My second one is called Stepfather versus Orphan, because Stephanie reminded me of the Esther.
Oh, I can see that. She
low-key looked like her.
She looks a little bit like Esther.
And I was like, oh my God, imagine he marries into this family, they adopt this child, but they're both fucking psychopaths. Stepfather versus the orphan.
Wait, that'd be so crazy.
Let's make that.
Esther's trying to fuck his daddy. And it's actually the daddy, the stepdaddy is like, bro, I can't fuck you. You're my daughter. He's like,
oh, Steph.
She's like, wait, no. And she takes her teeth off. She take her teeth off. She all fucked up. She all ass lady.
Well, my thing is, call it Stepfather versus Orphan. First kill.
First.
Because it'll be another prequel to the Orphan. Because we can't make sequels. She died.
Yeah, no, she really can't.
And then we have Stepfather versus Chucky, because the mom Susan kind of low-key reminded me of Karen in Child's Play. And I was like, what if he marries into this family, Andy gets Chucky, boom, Stepfather versus Chucky. Where Chucky's like, you can't updo me. It's my job to kill his family, not yours.
And I just imagine him like, Chucky's getting ready to kill the family, and then they're both catching each other with a knife in their hands. Like, what are you doing? It's like, nothing.
And that fight started.
What are you doing?
Another great movie that I think should be made. My last and final script would be Stepfather versus Evil Mom. The mom is evil. She becomes a deadite, but he's also a psychopathic stepfather.
And then he has to protect the family or let him to die.
Yep, and we get Stepfather versus Evil Dead Rising.
Okay, I can see that. So, like he said, y'all can take this idea. This is ours.
Yep.
Be, we're about to upload a fucking film for you for your website.
So, any writers out there, wanting one of these scripts, let me know. I'll sell them.
We want to direct it at least. Yeah. Let us direct it.
Or put me. Can I be like? Well, am I old enough? I want to be one of the kids, but the older. I want to be the older child.
You could be Jim.
Oh, I could be Jim, or I could be like the old gay son, where like the oldest gay son who's actually legally old, like 21 or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, mom, your husband. Sorry, mom, no offense, but he fine." And then like one day we're alone and he's trying to murder me. Like, "Oh, stepfather, is this role play? Or are you really trying to murder me?" Daddy, chill. All right, I'm done with my scripts though.
But that was pretty good. Good job. I like those ideas.
I'm gonna start writing more scripts.
I want to see the Chucky one. I think that would be interesting. That'd be like a good horror comedy. Yeah, that's a good one.
Orphan 2 though.
That would be kind of fire. But we gotta fucking go around. We don't need to make it a prequel. It could just be like
a whole ass remake.
Yeah, like fuck it. Esther's alive, but she joined the wrong family.
Yep. She fucked up.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. Yeah. I would love that.
All right, so. Besides that, this movie starts off with the stepfather doing himself a whole ass makeover.
Yeah, there's a lot of like strawberry jam everywhere. I don't know why. He has it on his hands, on his face.
And he looks like Bob Ross, but a murderer.
Yeah.
Murderer as Bob Ross.
It's like that theory of Bob Ross. Have you ever heard that theory of Bob Ross?
That he was murdered?
So, no, not that he was murdered.
No, that he was a murderer.
Oh, yeah. That like, so.
Well, that's allegedly, we don't throw facts like that here.
No, but the theory is that Bob Ross, all his paintings are actually where he left bodies.
False accusation.
Yep. There's no way. But also maybe.
So I can't believe that, obviously, but like it's kind of interesting because he's like, he's too nice.
Yeah.
You know, there's a dark history with him.
I mean, and his name is Bill as this version of the stepfather.
Yeah, this is true. Close enough.
Yeah, he's getting undressed. We see penis.
For like a split second, you did lie. You said we see penis for like 2 minutes, and
I did not say that. I said 2 minutes into the movie you'll see penis.
But he still lied.
Jonathan putting words in my mouth. Let's make this a compilation because he does this all the time.
No, you did it. I'm trying to gaslight you.
Yes, I did. Whatever.
Successful gaslight.
But he's getting him makeover. He's kind of jacked actually. And I was like, okay, yeah, father. And then he shaves. He cuts his hair a little bit.
Which this motherfucker gives himself a fucking fade and shit. Like I'm like, okay, dude.
And then we see his new look and we're like, okay, stepdaddy. And then he's coming down the stairs and he didn't just murder this family. Oh no, he slaughtered them. Like, this isn't a murder. This is a fucking slaughterhouse.
They're everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere. And then when he looks, he gets his tie done. Leaves out the door and there's a little girl dead in the or little boy dead in the corner.
Somebody. And he just walks out and starts singing that one song.
Do da do da do da day.
Yeah, Camptown Races.
Yep. I don't know why I hear racist. Da da do da day.
And like nothing, the whole neighborhood looks all peaceful. People come, leaving for work, but he just slaughtered a family.
And there's something wrong with this neighborhood
because this is
the same ass neighborhood from Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, it's in Pasadena. It was but
everyone in this
neighborhood is cursed.
They're all murderers. Yeah.
It's like bitches be leaving the door open while motherfuckers be walking in. Like, is this the house I'm supposed to be at murdering people? Oh no, wrong house. Where's Lori's house at?
Oh, that bitch in the corner. She loud as hell.
And then here comes Freddy. Where Nancy at?
Nancy, she quiet girl. Oh, that's from that one. I don't like the family very much. I think the wife be drinking a little bit. There's like so much gossip throughout this whole fucking neighborhood.
But then we cut to our final girl, Stephanie. It says 1 year later. She comes home. We meet the mom, Susan. They're playing with leaf fighting. And then Jerry comes home and brings home a puppy. Yeah. The minute I saw this dog, I was like, well, this movie's down to star if this dog dies.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah.
I do like they kind of cut to the chase. Like there's not, I know if I remember correctly, I might be wrong, I think we do see that they meet. Like he meets the family.
I think in the remake he meets the mom, and it kind of. I think there's a montage of time passing as they're getting together.
I think that's what I remember.
And then they're together.
Yeah.
Here we cut to the chase. He's already a whole new family.
And it's like the beginning. They use it for like setting up. Like this motherfucker already done this. Here, this is what you need to know. He's a murderer. Boom. Yeah. And then done.
And then it's also they also explain how he does it too, which and kind of shows at the same time. So it's kind of like it's not that he just. Within a year meets a woman and marries her. He kind of takes his time before he murders the other family too. So he's
He's very methodical.
He's good at what he does. I will give him that. Even though in real life he would have been caught.
Oh yeah, like nowadays. Nowadays you'll be done.
Because apparently, if it's loose on that story, it took them 20 fucking years to find the man. So
yeah, and in that movie, he just went to another home. He was fine.
Yep. We have Stephanie in therapy. We meet her therapist, Dr. Buterin, I believe. Buterin, and she misses her father. We don't even know what happens. Apparently, he's murdered. So I was like wondering when the dad was murdered, or not murdered, or when he died.
Yeah,
because it would have been another really interesting thing if he killed the father to get to this family, because he specifically wanted this.
Kind of like he's been like at it with this family, kind of like this is his prey. He's been kind of implementing things,
and then once the dad is out of the picture, then he can go in for the attack.
That would be interesting. And like that's one thing I had throughout this movie. How long has the dad been dead since he met since the mom met what's his name in this one?
Jerry.
Jerry
now. But they do have a conversation later that feels like the dad's been dead for a while and she was lonely, and that's how he got with her. He's good at manipulating, so
my man got that grief riz.
Honestly though, he looks okay. Like he's not bad looking either. The third look,
yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was doing with that. That girl was desperate.
The third look, I would have been like, yeah, you a creep. Red flags. But not this one. I can kind of see why.
I guess it's different times. Like
that is true.
It's like that. Oh, he balding. It's like he's sophisticated.
He balding. That means he's stressing. That means he got money. So yeah, then Jerry's in the car. He's telling her to behave. Don't get in trouble, because apparently she's been having a big past at school, getting in trouble. This movie has funny cuts too.
Oh yeah, there's so many great cuts, and I fucking love it, because he's like, "Promise me you're gonna be a good girl, whatever," and it just cuts to her fighting.
Fighting at school, fucking this girl up.
And I love that edit. It's so good.
And we get introduced to another character named Paul, our 50th Paul of the Horror Daddies.
We're gonna make a Paul tier list.
Yeah, of all the Pauls in horror movies, and rank them. But he seems to like her. She gets expelled, and then Jerry finds out. Jerry's not too happy about it. She wants to go to boarding school, but he doesn't want her to leave because he wants to keep the family together.
I mean, but not because he's a family man.
No, because he eventually is going to murder them. Even though I feel like...
You don't think he would murder them if he had a good relationship?
That's where I'm getting at. I feel like if he doesn't get triggered by them, which is very hard to not get triggered by family anyway.
Yeah.
That's like normal stuff. That... he probably wouldn't he can probably live a normal life if he doesn't get triggered, but it's like, who's he gonna find that's not gonna trigger him?
And it's like, where's that line? Because it's like those like really traditional values where it's like the woman stays home and does this, I go home and work, and it's like he's very that way. And there's a part, I think it's later, where he's like, oh, maybe they disrespected him,
disappointed him,
or disappointed him.
I was gonna say, and I was like, maybe he doesn't. If he's not triggered, he won't do it.
Yeah, that's a fucking crazy
line. But that's like very hard to just not piss off your partner.
Out of anything. It could have just literally be anything. Like anything little.
It's normal to have like arguments here and there. So like not toxic
like just that little bit of like annoyance. Disagreements. Exactly, disagreements. So that would be interesting if he actually finds love. He just falls in love. He's like, never mind, I'm not gonna kill this one.
He's such a family man, and then he also has like this other personality that he's like, you're not gonna do this again. We will love them, and it's like he's trying, but they keep triggering him.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if the sequels lead to that.
Well, we've watched 5 minutes of the sequel. You came up here and kind of set up everything. He's alive. Spoiler alert.
What the fuck?
And sorry, I said that before I said spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. He lives, and he's like in an institution. So we'll see what they do with him.
What the hell? Okay, interesting.
But the sequel also, this went from this had an 89%, and the sequel has a 39%.
Yeah, because they're like, what happened?
Right. So we'll see.
Okay, so that would be so interesting. I would love to know if like maybe he does, like he can find love, and so like what if like he finds this beautiful family, right? And then maybe a guy walks in that he's jealous of, like that feels like he's ruining my family. Will he kill him? You know, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, like I say, he's really interesting to study, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, it's like that serial killer kind of dilemma where it's like, oh, this person seems like a little more complex.
You don't want to know much. You kind of want to take guesses of yourself, but it's also be interesting if someone does it right to know about him a little bit, to what happened. That's why I said my prequel can work. So any writers out there, directors, let me know. Like, I'll help.
Bitch, no, we could just do it ourselves. Fuck
okay,
it.
well, at least I want to be in the movie.
Yeah, you're the child. You're the youngest.
No.
You're going to be wearing a bib.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be doing laundry, and then I get stuck in the dryer, and I'm like, stepfather, I'm stuck.
But he's wearing a bib. So he's wearing a bib. Don't worry, he is. I'm an 18-year-old twink.
Anyway, so we find out that he's a realtor here.
Yeah.
He's showing a family a house.
He works in American Eagle. Which that's a clothing brand, right? American Eagle, or am I?
No, you're not tripping. It's a store.
Okay, I was legit like, is this something else? But yeah,
we just
realty. They sell houses too, I guess.
Yeah, they do. Well, is it American? Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is there something else?
You're probably thinking of Old Navy.
No.
But the Old Navy sell American Eagle stuff, or the American Eagle is a whole separate store.
I don't even know, bro, because I go to Walmart and buy things. I don't go to American Eagle. Now I'm confused. Is that
stop? We sound dumb. I know it's a.
We're himbos.
It's a thing.
What do you think?
Oh, I can't wait for the himbo in this movie.
Oh, bro, I can't with him.
Thank you.
American Eagle. Yeah, outfits.
Okay.
Outfitters.
I'm not dumb.
So we right. So we're not dumb. It just, I was thinking maybe Aeropostale. You know? I know, but I was thinking maybe I was confusing it with that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're not dumb.
Anyways. He's swinging this little girl by herself. The parents are looking at the house, which is a little creepy for me. Yeah. To let my daughter get swung by this man that I don't know. He's just showing me a house. But I guess he's supposed to be like this all-American dad.
Everyone knows him too.
Exactly. So, but he's telling her about his daughter. And then he says Stephanie, how she's in school, but then he starts talking about how she was in 3rd grade. Yeah. Her name was Jill, which I'm assuming were the kids prior. Yeah. So that just tells you that he killed some young kids prior to this. And then the little girl catches him in that. And she's like, oh, I thought her name was Jill. And it's, he got mixed up. So he does this. And and this is how he gets caught later. He slips.
He's a fucking dumbass because he can't keep it straight. I guess if you're doing this for so many years, like, I feel like eventually it'll fucking catch up to you.
Then we get that he's doing like a birdhouse at in the basement, but then Stephanie's talking to Susan. Susan's like, well, Jerry came into our lives. I was lonely without your father. The yada yada.
Yeah, and she's like, I thought I could never find happiness. You only get happy twice or once in life, but she found Jerry. So, but Stephanie doesn't trust him. She's like, there's something about him I don't feel comfortable with.
That was me with a certain actor, and I was low key right.
Honestly. You know who it is if you've listened to the show. We mentioned him a couple times. Yeah.
And it's not The Rock.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's Jonathan. But then Jerry, can you see my socks? Oh yeah. I'm not wearing shoes, y'all. I'm at home, so
we don't wear we're just wearing underwear.
That's the OnlyFans cut of this episode. We do 2 recordings, one for here, one for the OnlyFans. No, but then Jerry doesn't really talk about his past. We kind of get that from Susan here.
He's mysterious
because he's like, oh, why does the past matter? It's about living now in the present, memory, blah blah. So this is red flag number 1. You don't know nothing about this man, just of the day you met him and on, which is low key.
You say that
weird,
but girls I know like mysterious, or some girls I would say like the mysterious kind of.
And that's how they get murdered.
Yeah, I dated somebody.
Have you talked about your past?
Me? I don't talk about my past.
Girl, run.
I dated a girl that like I didn't know like her family was like drug addicts and shit, and I was like, oh damn.
You see?
I was like, oh no.
You see? Thank you.
I'm mysterious.
Because with me and my man, like, yeah, I met his mom before we even told them we were homosexuals.
Shit.
So you just gotta know. You gotta find out, baby.
You're gay? Wait, what the fuck? When were you gonna tell me this?
After I murdered you.
Oh my god, she's a complete slut.
Which I will not.
Does your roommate know that you're gay?
Yeah, we sleep in the same bed.
He knows that?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
I didn't know you were gay.
Oh, that's so funny.
So who's gay?
Apparently Carlos.
Sure am. No, but so I'm just like, Susan, you really know nothing about this man. You marry him and you don't find it weird.
And she is in love. She is dick whipped on this.
So because she gets railed here, but good for her because he kind of he got muscle on him and a little bit, not a lot, but like.
But she's over here like and he's just stone faced.
Stone faced that she's getting like, and she's loving it, and I'm like, I want to try too.
That's so crazy.
But then like Stephanie's like, ugh, them again, because this reminded me of Beetlejuice.
Yes, I was like, Lydia.
But in Beetlejuice's actual ghost,
it's a ghost screaming.
We then meet Jim, Daddy. Thank you. Who happens to be the brother of the previous family? So the brother of the wife of the previous family.
He's
murdered.
Investigating. Like, I know who it is. It's the Morrison. Jim. What was his name?
Well, his name was
Henry
Bill
Morrison.
Yeah, that was his.
That was his before.
Yeah, and he's like, "There's no way this man." I don't know. He kind of has a feeling that he was going. He wasn't. He finds out that he would left his job
and then come back home at the same exact time.
But he kept coming home at the same exact. So he can only go so far. So he kind of has an idea what this guy maybe was doing. So he wants the reporter to pretty much write a newspaper article, which he eventually does.
And he tells him, and here's a picture of Henry Morrison. Put it out so we can see if he's out there somewhere.
Exactly.
The newspaper comes out.
And he doesn't.
He doesn't have a picture.
And we're at this party at the house with now Jerry, and
he has a whole neighborhood in there.
Well, he has pretty much, but the 5 families that he sold houses to, that he became free. He's really good at manipulating and making people think that he's such a great man.
He's charismatic. Yeah. He's always making jokes with everybody.
He almost starts crying during the speech. But yes, the newspaper is already out, so some time has passed, and he sees it, and he's just like, I don't know how a man can do this, but maybe it's because they disappointed him, and you're just like, okay, Jerry.
Yeah. He's fucking crazy, and he is freaking the fuck out. Like, he is just like, oh, fuck. Like, because it says it, like, the Morrison family murder, whatever. And he tries to be slick and like folds it, like he does some origami type shit.
He makes a fucking pirate hat for this little boy and gives it to him and says, haha, take it.
Yeah, like, bye. Like, motherfucker, that's the only source of news that you can get.
Right. He acts like it's the only copy in the neighborhood too. But Stephanie's getting ice cream, he goes downstairs to his where he can have tantrums, and he starts having a temper tantrum. But he's talking to himself, but as someone else, and saying, we're not gonna do this again. And Stephanie's watching him, and he's just like, why don't they just leave me alone? I don't want to have to do this. And so it seems like he is very conflicted with what he's doing. So that's what kind of makes him interesting, because he's not just like a guy that just kills people. He is kind of conflicted. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to find the perfect family, I guess, but he just can't help himself. Right. He kind of talks to Stephanie because he catches her, but she kind of just leaves, like, oh, mom's waiting for me. She finds it super creepy. She finds the newspaper. She's kind of trying to connect dots here. She's kind of suspicious of him now.
And he's we forgot to mention that he's so good at, like, oh, it's just work stresses me out.
So I come down here
and
to
you understand,
de-stress.
Work is just crazy. And the girl of your age, you understand. I need to do it by myself, and I don't want you guys see me this way. He's so good at just being kind of slipping by these issues.
It's like me. I went into the freezer at work one time and I screamed really loud.
I remember. I was like, what the fuck was that?
I came out and one of the girls was like, what was that? And I was like,
I don't know.
Nothing, I'm good.
It's that Pearl.
Her face was so funny because she was like, what just happened? What did I just hear?
Is that Pearl meme with her like smiling but crying at the same time?
So freezers are not always soundproof, everyone. But then she decides to write the Seattle Examiner to see if she can get a picture by pretending she's doing a project on serial killers. Then we cut to Jim.
Because Michael and Freddie are in that neighborhood as well.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, yeah, sure.
This is the behind the mask of Leslie Vernon. But then Jerry's upset Jim is upset because the fucking picture wasn't put on the newspaper article. So, of course, no one can even identify this man.
And he's like, I don't make the rules. My editor's the one that didn't do it.
Yep.
So there's a whole dilemma.
And then we cut to another, like this scene's actually kind of good. Jerry gets the mail and he sees the Seattle Examiner stuff came in, opens it, and his fucking picture from before is there.
Yo, like a headshot, like a movie headshot.
Literally.
Yeah, how did they get that? It's so weird.
I don't know. Okay, sorry. I was about to sneeze. So then Stephanie comes home and she's like, oh, anything come for me? He's like, yeah, and I'm very disappointed in you. And you're just like, oh fuck. Shit. Oh fuck. Are we about to get a third family and we just murdered this one?
And it's so tense because you're like the whole time. The good thing is that they're not afraid of keeping silence too. Like they're just staring at each other, and then it's like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? And he's like, you shouldn't be looking at these at your age. And he just has a Cosmopolitan, like a magazine.
Yeah, sorry, my cat meowed and distracted.
It's kind of
cute. Yeah. So then, what he does eventually is that he puts it back in the mailbox because then she's like, oh, it hasn't come in yet, like whatever. He puts it back in the mailbox because he's also freaking out in the basement, and he changes the picture. He puts a whole random man in the picture.
Smart, so fucking smart.
Stephanie's in therapy. She's telling the therapist that she was wrong, that it's not him. It can't because the picture thing, and then
the therapist gives me weird vibes.
He felt like a queer character to me.
You think so?
But it might be because of what of the scene later.
Oh, what comes later? Yeah. That's true. Okay. After that, yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It's just he just felt very he felt father-like, but queer. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's like the gay best friend.
Yeah, to her.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it in that way as well. Okay.
So he wants to talk to Jerry. And
he's like one-on-one. Oh, because she calls him schizo, right? And he goes, I have I charge my schizo patients twice.
Yeah.
Or something. Ha ha ha. They're crazy. Yeah. She's so crazy.
So what happens is that to get rid of the therapist, Jerry talks to the principal and I guess gets her back in school.
Yeah.
That way she doesn't need to go to therapy anymore. She's already back in school doing good. And also to him, that's doing a good deed. So why am I being a horrible person if I just did a good deed? So the therapist then calls him. He doesn't want to talk to the therapist. And then eventually what the therapist does is calls him as clients and wants to go see the house because he's never even seen this therapist and what he looks like, which I was like, good move.
That's a really smart move. And it's like because earlier in the movie we see that he just waits in the car for her. So he's never seen this man. They set up a date and we see him like he's just kind of like sketching around, and it like lingers on him for a while. But then it cuts to later in the day, right?
So then we get the whole picture thing when she gets the wrong letter. It's
the wrong picture. She tells her mom.
And then we also get to now the therapist comes over to the appointment he set up with him, and here he's basically asking the therapist stuff. The therapist asking him stuff back like, "Oh, you have a family?" Therapist first says, "No, I'm a confirmed bachelor." Yup, and then therapist is asking him questions, kind of seeing his triggers, I guess, in a way, or it seemed where. I don't know
just kind of learning his past because he is asking him like weird questions like, oh, you're a family man, and he's like, yeah, of course, I would never trade anything about it. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess it works for you or something. And like it seems like he's kind of pushing his buttons to see what to get a rise out of him. Right.
And then he's like, oh, do you sleep well at night? And then he asked the therapist something, and the therapist says, oh, sorry, my wife just nags me about that. And he said, didn't you just say you're a bachelor? And the therapist was like, oh yeah, recently divorced. And then Jerry, this is where I was like, this is the start of a gay porn scene. Because he was like, are you interested in me or this house? And I was like, oh.
I just imagine that.
The music starts. I'm interested in you, Jerry.
Are you okay?
I'm interested in you, Jerry.
And Jerry gets him a piece of wood.
He sure does, because Jerry Jerry grabs a piece of wood and says, "Who are you here for? Who are you? Who sent you?" And hits him with
his own meat stick.
Yeah. My thing is that the therapist had time to like
run away
or fight back because he hits him with the wood, and yes, that would hurt. But motherfucker, at least me. And this is not, and I know we talked about this in our Insidious episode.
Yeah,
that
you would do a backflip fight.
But first of all, Jerry's not a demon. It's a whole different story. He's just a regular schmegular man.
That's true.
So if a whole regular schmegular man hit me with a piece of wood, he's getting punched in the face. I'm just saying. Because my thing is, it's a funny kill because the doctor had time.
There. Yeah.
He's just taking the hits like, putting his arm up. Motherfucker, swing back.
Jerry, he can't defend himself, you know. He's just fragile.
But he murders the therapist, and then he pulls a Death Becomes Her, even though that came out later, and sets up the car like Helen and Madeline did in the movie to kill Bruce Willis character, and
yeah, he
lights
blows
the gas.
Him up.
He blows him up. He just blows him up.
Like problem solved, I guess.
And then you were like, well, what did the therapist have? Like bruises and shit? Nah, he cooked.
He cooked.
It don't matter now.
Let that man cook.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a good way, I guess, to get rid of it. I mean, they find him though.
They do find him, but wouldn't the examiner notice bludgeoning hits to the head if it was cooked?
So what I'm assuming is depending.
It's also the 80s. They don't have as much technology.
Yeah, but what I'm assuming is that they probably found his body. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long he was cooking for because it looks like he was just sitting on fire. That's your skin, everything's gonna melt. Your bones is the only thing that's not gonna melt. What is it? Your bones only melt at a certain, or they turn into dust into a certain degrees. So they could have just found his bones, and then with your teeth, they can detect who is who.
He knows way too much, and he also hasn't told you his past. I would run. You need to
leave.
I'm very disrespected right now.
But then he breaks the news to Stephanie, and this. For our listeners, I am a Scary Movie fan. And this reminded me of Scary Movie when Uncle George tells the little girl about the teacher being dead. Yeah. It's just not as dramatic. It's just really funny the ways I think in my head. But he tells Stephanie about the doctor being dead, and she starts crying and hugs him. There is a shift in the movie here where she starts to trust him because now that after seeing that it's not him in the picture,
she kind of goes like, "Fuck, I was wrong." Like, and that's big
accusation.
Yeah,
exactly. She false accused him. We know she didn't. They
like,
put up the
follow your gut,
right? Literally.
I will say it is a weird move for him to be like the one breaking the news for her. I feel like they should have talked as a family.
Right. Like, but also the mom disappears for 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She just disappears. Yeah. And then randomly he's like, oh no, she's back.
It's mostly about Stephanie and Jerry. But we see Jim again exploring the old house where the murders happen. He finds a magazine. Garage. And the magazine's missing pages. So he has the idea to go check what this magazine had. And what he finds eventually is that the magazine had the top 10 towns around that area. So he in his head, he's like, oh, he's in one of these.
Yeah, which, I mean, he's in Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge, Washington, I think
Washington.
It is. Yeah.
And my thing is, though, this motherfucker goes to a random, like, convenience store, looking for a magazine that came out a year ago.
Yeah, and he finds it though.
He finds it.
I mean, some stores do tend to carry like.
He went to a bookstore, right?
Oh, yeah, and they tend to have old magazines.
Yeah,
if they don't sell, I guess.
He went to Borders.
Yeah,
man, remember Borders? Did you ever go to Borders? Oh
no.
Damn, I feel old.
You know, I was thinking about the Sexiest Man Alive, and you know who should be in that magazine?
Did you say sexy?
Sexiest Man Alive. Jesus. I vote Josh Segarra for Sexiest Man Alive of 2023. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, yes, thank you.
He's been watching the other two.
The other two, yeah. Woo, y'all missing out if you're not watching that. But Yeah, so then they put up the birdhouse. This is where they kind of all apologize to each other.
And it's a nice. I get it.
The change here. Yep. Then they're having Thanksgiving dinner. Everything is still super good, super well.
And it's like I do like this symbolism as well because he finishes the birdhouse and they're putting it up together. Yep. So it's kind of like the house is finally where he wants it to be.
Yes, and then the right after that is Thanksgiving, which is a family holiday, whatever. But then we cut to Stephanie. I don't know if some time has passed because then later that night she's at a diner by herself. She goes outside and she runs into Paul, and Paul basically takes her home because Paul, I guess, was dating the blonde girl that she fucked up, and they broke up after that, which is kind of funny.
And he was like, "Damn, she kind of fine though." I like me a girl that can kick my ass. Right.
So, he drops her off at home. They start to kiss. Jerry walks out and catches them, and it's
a little crazy.
It's a little crazy, but when they were putting up the birdhouse, he said a line like, "Oh, you're still my little girl. You don't need to grow up." So now I see where this comes from. Him freaking out like this because he's like, "What are you doing, kissing her? She's only 16." And then Paul's like, "So am I."
So am I. Like, motherfucker, what the fuck?
We're still the same age. And then Susan comes out finally, and Susan's like, "What's going on?" And Jerry's like, "He was trying to rape our daughter." Like he did use the R word. I'm not being exact. Like he literally was like, he's trying to rape her, and I was like, God damn, where's this coming from?
Like, yo, I didn't do shit, bro. I was just kissing her.
So Stephanie's like, Paul, just leave, Paul. Let me handle this. So Paul leaves, and then she starts talking back to him, and then Susan out of nowhere was like, "You can't talk to your father like that." And I was like,
"You should be doing that for your daughter."
Right. First of all, that's not her daddy.
Yeah.
She not my dad. And she not my dad. And then Susan slaps Stephanie because she talks back. So Stephanie walks away. And then this is when Jerry has had it. He's like, fuck this. Fuck the both of you. He quits his job.
And we're all like, oh, God.
Yep, because that's what he does. So what he does is that a few weeks before he commits the murder, he quits his job.
Doesn't tell the family. He takes the ferry, changes his identity, and looks for another job, hunts down another family, and then once he's all settled in the other town, he murders and then just leaves forever. Yep. He already has like a nice segue to this other place.
Yep.
But this new identity, motherfucker looking like Flander from The Simpsons. I don't know what he was doing because he has a prosthetic hairline, peels it up.
Yeah, so this whole time he's like low-key a little bald.
Yeah, he's like literally like completely bald. He puts glasses because he has contacts on. Yep. He puts a mustache on. Literally looks like a whole different person.
Yeah, it's like really good. Bless you.
Thank you.
It's really good, and I was like, okay, they're like, he's actually really good at this, and it's really scary.
It's horrifying.
It's like, damn, you can literally not know anyone. It's like, I mean, nowadays it's a little different.
But my thing is like, what's your next look after this? He shaves his head, goatee.
Yeah.
Then after that,
long hair. Fuck. He could almost keep doing it. But not forever, obviously.
I feel like there's a certain limit that you pass.
Right.
Does he change hair colors?
Right. I mean, he changes eye colors at least.
Damn, that's true.
He could dye his hair too. That could work. It does work.
Well, there was like a murder recently, I think in Florida.
Of course.
Where the girl, she died and the boyfriend left, like completely disappeared, and they were looking for him. And he just shaved his head and they couldn't fucking find him.
Yeah.
Like, so weird.
I mean, obviously, and then, I mean, if he's really trying not to murder anyone, the family just can't trigger him, but that's kind of hard too.
That's so hard to... How do you get it? You didn't do the dishes, bitch. I'm gonna put my 2 weeks in. like what the fuck?
Well, if she cooked, the least he could do is wash the dish. Oh, shit. Well, fuck Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart can kiss my shiny plastic butt. Here I am, slaving away over a hot stove, and you can't do one fucking dish. Sorry.
He's gonna go on his tangent for Brother Chucky. But it's like, how? Like, what is that line that you don't cross?
Yeah, it's hard, especially with younger kids too.
Yeah,
like kids can get,
and she's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting? And I didn't think about this earlier. How like in the 80s, especially, like bad kids were like leather jacket and fucking smoking. And Stephanie is nothing like that.
No.
She's like this like quiet
she's
girl.
She's not a bad kid. She just lost her father, so she's rebelling. She's going through stuff.
I would like to kind of see her like her with she comes in leather
that's
jacket.
His problem. He finds family with dead fathers.
With
of
baggage.
course, the kids are gonna be upset. Find a divorce dad or something.
My man he's colorblind. He sees no red flags.
Oh my god! But Stephanie then goes to therapy. She opens the therapy door and sees who her new therapist goes. That's not me. Never mind. Because the lady looked a little crazy. But then she goes to her therapist's office and she finds a note that he was supposed to meet with Jerry at 4:30.
So when we saw the shot lingering, we thought because he scribbles on his desk.
Yeah, he does.
And he writes the address, right? At 4:30. Mm-hmm. So she immediately is like, oh, wait a second. So she goes to that place and she's looking around and sees that there's like the paper for the paint. It's like ripped up and like bunched up.
Yeah.
So she's immediately like, oh, fuck, what's happening? Randomly, when she's about to go to the next room, another realtor is showing her another family a house.
Let's do it.
Okay, so who you want to be?
You'll be Stephanie. You'll be Stephanie.
Okay. Oh shit! I think my stepfather, killed my therapist. Fuck. Okay, I need to get out of here before I. Oh my god!
Ah! I thought this house was empty.
Anyways.
It's so dumb.
It's such a stupid, like, I love that he just ignores what's happening.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Anyways.
And they just keep showing the house.
Look at this beautiful marbling.
Shouldn't you be worried that something was happening here and you should not be showing this house?
Some random little girl. Like,
and then me as the client, I'll be like, I don't think I want to buy this house because how are people getting in here?
Exactly. Like, I don't know.
But anyways, Jerry ends up going to another town. He's now an insurance agent for.
He got that job
quick.
quick.
Yeah, dead family insurance or life insurance, where he's like, I'm good with family. Family's my specialty. Blah blah blah.
Wait a second. Does he have a resume?
His resume must be real good because first of all, how long has he been doing this? He can change the name on it. Oh well, they wouldn't. They would call the.
What
other
if they
job.
call the other job?
Oh fuck! Unless he does that, it's like closed down now. They can't call it.
Oh,
like how people do that now with
that's true. COVID. That's very true. Oh, that's interesting. Because he gets his job, like they're like, oh yeah, we've been waiting for you, sir. Like, come in. Like then gets it. I'm like, okay, his resume is packed.
Unless it was different back then, and if he just knows his shit, they'll just hire him because he knows what he knows what he's talking about. He sounds smart.
That's true.
He's really good.
Yeah, I give him that. He's very good at like.
It's really scary how good he is. Yeah. So yeah,
that remind me of Ted Bundy. Like a Ted Bundy kind of thing, where he was so charming and just so good with just like to the point where he thought he could get away with murder in jail. So he just was literally defending himself. He didn't have a lawyer. He did it himself. He literally thought he could do that. That's so crazy.
It's really wild. It's really wild. Oh, times were so different back then.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I wasn't.
No. So bad back
even
then.
though now it's like other things happening, but whatever. So then, yeah, Jerry's now kind of full on cold with Susan. He's like, I'm handling this. Don't worry about it, Susan. And then it cuts to Susan opening the door because now Jim is in town and he's looking for him. But then he's like, oh, don't worry. I'll be back later. Don't worry about who I am. So he leaves. This is when she calls his other job and they're like, oh, he no longer works here. And she's like, what do you mean? And then we're like, oh shit.
She about to go down.
But the thing is that I'm pretty sure the first thing that comes to mind is not murder. It's cheating.
Yeah. Oh, he's cheating on me.
Yeah.
And he comes back.
Yeah,
and he's like,
well, we cut back to Bill and the other.
Yeah.
Now it's Bill. It's Jerry. Now is Bill, and he's in the new town, and he's like rented a whole house, and I'm like, damn, motherfucker, you got this like the insidious people. They got money because they can just rent new places like it's nothing.
No, he's just a teacher.
Yeah, well, he's an insurance agent.
Oh yeah, insurance agent. Got money, rented this house.
Comes outside and meets this woman who's raking her lawn. And I guess he approaches her because it's the 80s and a woman doing yard work. Where's the husband?
Exactly.
So it's weird.
Oh my god, I even think about that.
So,
oh Jesus,
because that's the whole thing in his head. It's like the woman shouldn't be doing this. So he goes to meet her,
and that's probably why we see Susan doing it earlier because she's probably used to doing that.
Exactly, because now Jerry. Yep. So then he introduces himself.
Yep.
She says, "Oh, my kids should be doing this, but kids." And he goes, is there a man?" And she goes, "No." And the way she said it's like he's dead.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and she's kind of interested in him.
Yeah, and then he smiles, and then we're like, well, here's his next family victims.
Fuck.
Yep.
So, but then what happens is that he goes back to the house, and Susan is like, bitch, where the fuck were you? Because I called you a job. And you weren't there.
Yeah, but before that happens,
oh shit, okay.
There's a scene with Jim, which is really funny.
Oh fuck that! Yeah. We need to talk about that one.
So Jim goes up to this random other house, and this lady is leaving this man as this is happening.
Weird.
Which is like, what a weird concept that you just walking on a woman walking out on her man because I think he thinks she's cheating, which he might have been.
She could have.
And she thinks he's the cab driver, and he's not the cab driver. But then the husband walks out, and the husband's like, "Is this the guy? Is this the guy?" And now, in my head, I would have thought it's the guy too, because he fine as shit. So if you're leaving me for him, I get it.
And then she's like, "Yep, it's him." Just puts him in the fucking trouble.
But then he shows them the picture of what Jerry looked like before, the Henry version, and he's like, "Oh, this looks like the guy that sold us this house." And then,
but he looks different.
And then Jim's like, "Oh, he sells houses." And that's when he connects the dots and heads back to Susan's. And now we're back at Susan's after the commercial break, and he
shows up like nothing, like nothing's happening.
It's the end of the day, so he shows up back at home like normal
as Jerry.
Susan's like, "Hey, your job. I called your job, and they said you no longer work there." And Jerry's like, "Oh, that dumb receptionist. She's new and she doesn't know what she's talking about."
She's like, "I never fire anyone, but that one, she's gonna get it."
Yeah, she needs to go. And Susan's like, "Oh, so you really still work there?" He's like, "Yeah, she's just dumb. How do you mess up the name Hopkins?" Hopkins is his new name, Bill Hopkins, and it's actually Jerry Blake. I should have said that in the beginning. His new name is Bill Hopkins as the half bald guy, the Flanders guy. Jerry Blake is his name here. So she's like, "What do you mean, Hopkins?" And then he says out loud, "Who am I here?" Bro. And you're just like, "Well, that's actually really kind of scary."
Yeah, like you're like, what?
Like you sound crazy and like. Low-key, like, "Who are you, sir?"
It's so terrifying. And I love that even her, she's just like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Yep. And like,
and she tells him, "Blake, you're
Jerry Blake. And then he doesn't play it off. Like, I thought he was just gonna play it off again and just walk away. Nah, he turns around and fucking hits her with the phone.
Yeah,
like
and
hard.
Fast. And she is fucked up. Like her whole mouth is all fucked. And this is where he just starts beating her, right?
Yeah, he throws her down the basement.
Oh yeah,
closes the door. Then he grabs a knife, calls the dog over, and I was like, "Oh my god,
oh my god, leave, motherfucker!" Because
this movie goes down 3 stars now.
Yep, he's like, leave. But it's weird that he just plays with him.
Well, I think he was gonna do it.
You think so?
Yeah. He was just trying to calm him down, kind of get him, and then do the
yeah.
So he's like, playing with the dog. He grabs it though, and he says like, "Oh, you're a good boy, you're a good boy." And I think he was about to do it, but then Stephanie walks in.
Oh, okay.
And the dog runs over to Stephanie, but Stephanie doesn't go into the kitchen or check anything. And was it me or did the house look a little
fucked up,
foggy to you? Like something was on fire.
And I felt that like at the beginning of the movie as well.
Oh, okay. So
I was like, Stephanie,
shouldn't you go check the kitchen?
Yeah, I think it was maybe like an aesthetic choice, like shit's going down in the house, to give it more mysterious look.
I was just like, something's burning and no one's checking the fucking kitchen?
I thought the same thing. I was like, this feels weird. Like, it almost feels like a dream sequence.
Okay, I see. I can see that. I can see that.
But she goes upstairs and take a shower, and she's Jerry is about to go upstairs
and go murder her.
But what happened here? What did this? Oh,
Jim shows up and we're like, oh, "Daddy to the rescue!"
Oh, daddy versus daddy. He fast Xing all the way to that house too throughout the movie.
Yeah, he does.
He jumps, takes some airtime, hits the fucking floor. We're like, "Brotherfucker, you gonna die before you get there."
Yeah, but he shows up and we're like, "Okay, this is about to be a
Jerry Springer episode."
Yeah, daddy fight. Jim just gets stabbed and murdered and died. He just he just falls over and goes, "I'm dead." And I'm like,
all that shit you were talking.
You talked all that shit that you gonna fuck this man up, and you show up and he probably got scared of him, of how different he also looks too.
Well, it's also that concept where it's like you're facing your enemy, and it's like, oh shit, like, and how old was he? How long was he with the family? So like maybe he saw like, oh shit, this was my dad. Now I'm here to kill him.
Brother-in-law.
Well, oh yeah, I guess that's true. So it's like, weirdly like, fuck, you killed the love of my life and
then Jerry also says his name because he recognized him.
Yeah.
So I feel like to him he was like, is this really you? Because you look really different maybe too.
Yeah, that's true.
He also doesn't want to murder the wrong person.
Yeah, I guess because I guess at that point I've been like, I'm sure.
Yeah. So as Jim is trying to take out the gun, he gets stabbed and dead.
Yeah. And it sucks. That's it. That's all he is.
He was kind of a waste.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that just dying so easily, but he was nice to look at throughout the movie. But we also he goes upstairs. Stephanie's done with her shower. She comes out of the bathroom and he's holding the knife and she sees it. He goes to stab her and she 360s him.
Yeah.
And goes into the bathroom. He's breaking the way he's trying to get the door down is actually very unsettling because he looks strong as fuck here.
Yeah, he's banging the fucking door and the mirror that's behind the door is breaking.
You know what it felt like? My Mother Dearest in Evil Dead Rise when she's trying to get the door now.
Yeah,
because he's doing it really fast too.
So fucking scary. But eventually all the shards are on the floor. She grabs a towel and grabs a shard. And he
very smart.
Busted. Yeah, super smart.
I would have probably just cut myself not thinking about it.
Me too. But he bursts into the door, like you said.
Very Nightmare on Elm Street when Freddy bursts through the mirror. Yeah,
it's just like it. And she stabs him in the arm, right? It was in the bicep.
He leaves it there.
Yeah,
and he's still chasing after her with it in his arm, which I'm like, motherfucker, I know that hurts.
Yeah, but I guess you're so pumped up in adrenaline. Yep. You probably don't feel that now.
Yep. She goes up to the attic, running away from him. He chases up after her.
Which the attic is in the closet. The attic door.
It's a weird setup. And I don't know how they got the crib up there and a shelf that was up there. Yeah. Like I had questions. But he eventually he chases her through the attic, but he falls through where the insulin stuff is.
The insulin. Is it insulin?
No, insulin's
installation. Himbos.
I need to stop thinking about work. But yeah, the installation is, and he falls through it into the bathroom. She gets downstairs and she was gonna go down the stairs, but then she sees Hot Daddy dead, and I'm like, girl, she's like, oh, just run down the stairs. That man was here to rescue you.
Yeah,
he's also hot,
but she doesn't. She takes her sweet ass time. Yep. Her mama is crawling up,
and then she calls her name, and then Jerry attacks her, but the mom grabbed the gun, which I was like, oh wow, good on you, Susan,
doing work,
right? Because it would have been another movie. She would have just been crawling like, Stephanie, I'm coming.
She's like, call the ambulance, but not for me.
So the mom starts shooting him. He's still but he kind of falls, but he's still going up.
He's resilient. He's fucking resilient.
So Stephanie's on the top, mom's at the bottom. He's in the middle, trying to get to Stephanie. He's not even worried about her.
Who's the top and who's the bottom? What did you just say? Who's the top and who's the bottom?
Well, Stephanie's on the top, Susan's at the bottom, Jerry's verse. Oh, he's right in the middle, trying to get up the stairs, and then. So, she's shooting at him. Then Stephanie grabs the knife and stabs him
a couple times. Just once in the chest.
Yeah, but the mom does have a final girl line, which I forgot what it was. The mom said something before shooting him.
Oh, I can't even remember. But I just know that his final word was, I love you. And I was like, oh, bro, that will fuck with her forever.
Yep.
I love you.
Yep. Because he looks right at her and says it, and then he just falls down, and we assume he's dead. So for the movie's sake,
sorry, just imagine Vin Diesel. Because I love you.
For the movie's sake, no sequel. He died.
He got stabbed in the heart, bro.
He did. And then we
cut to the back. Them cutting down the house again.
Oh yeah, so we fade to black. They're cutting down the birdhouse, and I'm like, Stephanie, the birdhouse didn't really do anything to you.
It's like symbolism.
I know it was the symbolism of the house being together, but what were there birds up there with babies?
Yeah,
you just murdered them.
You just see the eggshell just breaking. Oh, damn.
And I could have sworn the first time I heard this, I heard birds chirping. I was like, oh my God, Stephanie just killed the whole bird family.
Just imagine she cuts the thing fall with birds inside of it, hits a little dog too, 2 animals dead.
Oh my God.
Like, oh no.
It's the symbolism, 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, then the movie, they walk inside and the movie ends.
And that's pretty much it, right?
That's pretty much the movie.
So that is 1987 Stepfather.
I do want to bring a segment back.
Okay. Let's bring that segment back.
It's not really a segment. We only done it once. But Final Girl Lines.
Oh, Final Girl Line. Okay. So this is stepfather is you're about to reach a knife,
but you're gonna be the mom. I'm gonna be the stepdaughter.
Oh, so I say like a mom.
Yeah, you have to be the wife. I'll be the stepdaughter.
Okay.
There's 2 final girls here. So
do you have a line already?
Kind of.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jerry, it's time to have a talk. Okay, Jerry, I'm filing for divorce. Dude, so good, bro.
Okay. Let me see. Jerry, you're not my dad. Stab. Okay. Jerry, I'm a big girl now.
Oh yeah, because he calls her a little girl earlier. That's good. Oh, let me see. Okay. Jerry, we're done playing house. Fucking Jerry's confused. Jerry doesn't know where to look.
Jerry, I was never stuck in the dryer.
Daddy, chill.
I gotta go on. Jerry, not in front of my salad.
You know what's so funny about that? There's some people that have no idea what that fucking means.
That's true. If you're gay, you definitely know.
Not in front of my salad. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay. So that is our Final Girl Lines.
Final Girl Lines segment.
Oh my god. Thank you. All right, so like we do in Letterboxd, we want to change it up a little bit. Carlos is gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Mm-hmm. But usually we rate a 5-star and a 1-star. Give us a second.
Babies, don't come in the room yet. For some reason, our podcast door won't close, and
I don't know what happened.
My dogs can now just barge in.
Alrighty, so like we do in every movie,
yeah,
we usually find a 5-star and a 1-star. So Carlos, you want to go ahead and read your 5-star?
Yes. So my 5-star review is that scene towards the end where Terry O'Quinn forgets what's going on and says, "Wait a minute, who am I here?" Makes the film a goddamn 10 out of 10 classic. Not to mention the opening. Yeah,
that opening is so chilling, right to the point. So good.
And then my 1-star review is, I was really worried about the dog.
We all were, baby. We all were. So what we want to do for our new segment, we're gonna try read our own reviews with our rating. So Carlos, you want to say how much you give this?
I give this movie a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, that's pretty good. I think
it's really enjoyable. Actually, very good for like a normal 80s movie, I guess.
Yeah, like not you would really expect something worse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I give this movie a 4 stars. I thought the score with the movie, I love that some scenes just cut the music completely and they leave you with so much tension. Mm-hmm. I think the whole concept, I think the dad is pretty interesting. Pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And especially the last score at the end when he goes on his murder.
Yeah.
Spree. I was like, okay, I can bang to this.
Yeah, and the remake got a good ass bop too.
Yeah, it does.
So, but my review is, Jim, you really talk all that shit for nothing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Literally for nothing.
Yeah. There was another 1-star review that I really liked. That was it was like, oh, we're just gonna murder the birds now, aren't we?
Yeah, fuck them birds.
And then
Daddy of the movie?
Come
on, we already know.
Himbo Jim.
I mean, you know, died, but he good. You know, he was nice to look at, I guess.
Also, Jerry was kind of nice to look at. Not nice. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
Solid, or
I guess because he was evil.
Oh, you like them because you like the mystery.
He was evil.
But I think second place or he's close first.
I'm gonna bring a segment back, and I'm gonna try to bring it back now for every movie.
Okay,
if I can. Marry, fuck, or kill.
Okay.
We're gonna do Jerry, Jim, and the therapist, Dr. Buteran. Fuck. I am personally murdering the therapist again. Oh. Not that I murdered the therapist, but Jerry gonna murder the therapist. I'm definitely fucking Jerry because now I know what happens when you marry him, so I'm not doing that. And I'm gonna marry Jim because Jim can be fucked every night after that.
That's true. That's a good point. So, oh man, but I feel like Jim has so much baggage. Like he's still talking about the fucking family that died. It's like, bro, just fucking get over it. That's
when you consult him and like, it's okay, Poppy. It's okay, I got you. I'm here.
Yeah, but then if you're having sex with him, he's gonna start crying,
and that's okay.
I guess that's true. Okay, fine.
A blowjob will always fix that. I
could say maybe marry the therapist. Because he got a career, he got a job. You can be the housewife, whatever you want to be. I'm gonna have to kill Jerry because I'm not gonna be walking on eggshells on you. I'm my own woman, bitch. I don't need no man.
Okay.
And I guess fuck Jim. Fuck it.
I mean, Jim was.
Because apparently he's not gonna defend you. He just freezes and dies. Like that's all he does.
Guilty.
So that's about it.
That's true. And then favorite kill?
There's no real kills in this one.
It's very slow.
It's a
slow movie. It's a slow burn, but it's a good slow movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do like the scenery in the beginning of the family that was slaughtered because it's very like it wasn't just a murder; it was a slaughter.
I just wish we didn't see that he was covered in blood. Like I wish
in the beginning,
and it just revealed. Like it's almost like he's getting ready in the morning,
yeah,
and then it's revealed that he murdered everyone.
That would have been better. Yeah, that would have been better. But he also it looked like it because he wasn't holding a weapon, and he low-key looked like Bob Ross, so it could have been red paint.
Yeah, but everything was covered in red.
He's
messy.
He was having inspiration. So he started.
That's true. He's inspired.
Yeah.
Favorite scene? Because I feel like I have a lot of really good ones, but I think the scene. Oh damn, that's hard actually.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, maybe not, because this is a lot of good ones. Okay, I think the opening is, for me, it's what beats it. I think the only thing that could have made it better is that I wish we didn't see that much blood at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed that he killed the family, but I think it's still a really effective scene.
I like any time that he manipulates because it's like he's really good at what he does.
So easily. Like, he's just so good with his words.
Yep. It's super good. But
that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah. So, I hope y'all enjoy this episode. I hope y'all daddies had a great Father's Day, and then join us. What's next week?
Next week, I don't even know if we have anything. Next week? I don't even know, bro. All my days are blending in.
I know.
The 25th.
Okay. I don't have anything yet. I do have something for the week after that. So join us next week and surprise again.
Hell yeah. So thank you for watching and listening. Down below, we always have our merchandise. So if you want to support us right now for the month of June, we do have Pride promo code for 10% off. And we have everything in there, all 10% off with Pride, with code Pride. So if you want to support us directly, you can do that. But just listening, rating our show, leaving a comment on YouTube, watching our faces, that helps tremendously.
Did you ever have a murderous stepfather? Let us know.
Yeah, if you've been murdered before, let us know.
That too. All right, y'all. And remember,
stay spooky and stay sexy.
See you in your dreams.
Bye, guys.
Bye.